All right, today we're going to be looking at how to print photos on a wide format printer. Okay. Very, very cool workflow. So if you want to make posters in our lab, this is how you do it. So the first thing we need to do is put your images, they should be like a PDF, and they should be on a flash drive. In this case, I do have that, and I am in a room where I'm not next to the machine, so what I'm going to do is click and drag those onto this computer. So mine are 12 by 18, so I'm going to just drag that over to this computer. This computer is out in the lab. It's right next to the wide format printer. All right, once they're on the desktop, by the way, you should transfer them onto the desktop from your flash drive. Don't run it from the flash drive because another student will pull it out and then it'll cancel your print. Okay, so once you have it on the desktop, the PDF, I know there's no icons because over time, students have saved so much stuff on here, I just turned off the desktop. So the only way to access that file is while this runs. So you should launch Roland VersaWorks if it's not already established. Okay, and then what you do is you go to your file manager within Windows. You go to desktop, and there's my photos, 12 by 18 photos. I'm going to drag them over to the list. All right, they are way at the bottom, and I now go ahead and double click them, and I should get into this. All right, so now we have to get the width of the roll that I put on there in the last video, or the last part here. So I should be able to show you somewhere right here how to change the paper on this printer to match the paper that's in the assignment. So I'll probably ask for that paper, I'll give you a little video, and then we'll come right back and then I'll show you the rest of this. Alright, so this is the wide format printer, and this video is to show you how to change it correlating to printing things like photos out. Okay, so we have two sets of paper. We have the photo gloss paper and the photo matte paper. If you're going to put it in a frame, always use matte because the glass is glossy anyway. And gloss paper actually doesn't look that good when it comes to photographs, but that's just my subjective opinion. So we look for this colored dot, and then we match the dot up. In this case, there's the dot, this is the paper, and it's on a small enough roll. That's cool, just to kind of show how this works. All right, first go back to the machine. On the back of it, you're going to find these. You're going to loosen them. And you do not need to over tighten these when you loosen after you get done here, so be very mindful about tightening these too tight. You can see, hey there, Superman, go easy, do not over tighten. Nice. So we're just loosening them up. Then you come over to the front of the machine and you make sure that this is raised up. The paper should fall out. Then you can roll it back up, pull on it, and then roll it back up. Okay, now I can't do this with one hand, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this one this way and that one that way, and I'm going to take this out put a rubber band on it and then put it over here. Should look like this when done, properly stored, nice and neat. Alright, then you put the other roll on and then you slide these back into position. If you're smart enough to change the toilet paper in your house, you're smart enough to change the paper in the wide format printer. Okay, so now here's the tricky part with one hand. I'm going to put this up in here. I need to rent a camera, dude. Okay. And I'm going to feed this through this slot. Just so I can get it all the way to the other side. And enough so it doesn't fall out. Alright, so we go to the other side. Lift this up. And then we're going to pull a little bit out so that it doesn't fall out. Alright, back to the other side. Okay, what we're looking back here is, see these little blue brackets. We need to move the roll by moving this so that it's underneath these brackets. It should be under the brackets on both sides. So the furthest bracket that you can on this side, and the furthest bracket you can on this side. Alright, once you have them in the brackets, you can then tighten this and tighten this. Okay, so now what you do is, with this up, you come in here and you move this so it's about a ½ inch onto the paper. So you can move it within this blue bracket. That's what that bracket represents, this blue mark. And we want it to be right about there. And we have to do that to the other side. Alright, so if we're printing photos, we should put the guards on, and I'll show you how to do that. The guards, and how you insert them is, there is this that slides back and connects with this. You could just go like that, and it's very easy. You just push onto it. And then realign this back on there. Good. Let's do that to the other side. What these little safety things are is so that it doesn't pick up the paper and then print on the edges by accident. So they should lay on top of the paper like that. I'll give you a better representation of it here. Just like that. Just like that. And then the middle one goes directly into the middle of the paper somewhere. So you should also pull on it a little bit, so that will fix the skew. So it should be nice and taut. Again, check your alignment after you do that. Check your alignment on the other side after you do that. And boom, nice and taut across. And those are well aligned. So now you can take this bar and put it down. Now, once you put it down though, you're going to be wasting this much paper. So if you want to efficiently use your paper, roll it from the back. Carefully. And it should be right about here. You can see this hole. This is going to tell, this hole has a sensor in it that tells where the paper is. So just put it past the hole and then lower that down. Make sure you put the guardrail down. And now the paper is in the machine. The machine is ready to receive the file. So now we're going to go send the file. Alright, so now you've changed the role. Good job. Now you're ready to hit this button, get media width. Okay, because every role is a little bit different, and that one will find how wide that role is for you. Okay, so I've made 12 by 18 prints here. 12 by 18. The only thing that I have to do for photos is, I kind of like moving them over a little bit, but so I'm going to go center on media. Reason you want to do that is because just in case when it goes to print, the print head might catch on the edge, but we've probably installed the safety clips on the side so that doesn't happen, but still I like to center it. Okay. Also, you should try to print with the least amount of paper being wasted, and this is about what I can do. Photographs, I like to print them at high quality. Okay. And under printing controls, I do say cut sheet after output. Now, there's going to be a point where it gets done printing and it'll ask you to take off those things, those little mechanisms on the side of the paper. They're silver that keep the paper down. You'll need to remove that before it'll actually cut. All right, just as an addition to this video, just in case I have those students that are printing something with a white border, okay? So this is the one thing that you need to do with those images that have a white border. Just double click back on it before you hit print, and then go to mark and go to trim marks. This will give you your cut marks. They are the worst trim marks ever. So yeah, I just can't say enough about that. They just don't have, they have the horizontal mark, but they don't have the vertical mark. And so sometimes you're just going to have to draw them in, and they're pointless at that. And other than that, that's how you print photos. It's not a hard thing. So hit OK. So now that it's established, we can now right click on it and hit print. It'll pretty much give you this error every time. There's plenty of ink and it's very fussy. So low and out is two different things. All right, so that's now printing, and we can go take a look at that. If you don't have it starting right away, if this is completely blank, make sure you just bump this button right here and it will start saying and now heating. Okay, so that's a good indication that it just needs to be, it falls asleep, so you need to wake it back up. Over here on the software, you should see that it's on the status of 0%. Once that actually gets to 100%, and then this is heated up, then it will go. Heating is dictated by the paper type. So by default, I don't remember what the exact Fahrenheit was, but it's different for every paper. It sometimes takes up to 15 to 20 minutes to heat up. It's real slow. And what that does is heats this front so that when it prints, it dries the ink as it goes before it falls in here and gets smeared. Alright, so once it starts, it looks like that. And that's the purpose of this. Notice that when it kicks back this way, it doesn't pick up the paper. So that's why those plates are very necessary whenever you're printing something like a poster or photos or, yeah, anything not vinyl, I would say. Alright, so at this point it says remove media clips. It wants to cut it, but it won't because of those clips are in the way. So you just go like this, pressing down on here, and remove them. Same way. And then afterwards, it gives you this little character. That is enter. So just hit enter. And there we go. Beautiful. So that's how you print photos on a wide format. Enjoy.